All right, so I want to be sharing a story on the moment that everything changed with my body, my physique. And so I've always, lifted most of my life. Ever since I was little, I've been working out and I've been training actual weights for a long period of time. And so I thought that, I could get away with not hitting my protein goal. And so for those of you that aren't aware, if you hit a certain amount of protein, not 20 grams or 25 grams, one scoop of protein, right? But actually hit close to your goal body weight. So let's say you want to get down to 170 pounds. You got to be eating like 150 or more. And so if you're a 200-pound guy, you got to be hitting around 180 or more. And I had this limiting belief about myself where I was like, it was two of them actually. One was that I was like, oh, okay, I have good genetics, I'll be fine. Maybe I have fast metabolism, whatever it is. I'll be able to, work out, do my walking, and kind of just skate by, right, with the protein goal. And so I kind of thought that for a bit, and when I got down to my goal weight, I was like, what's going on? I thought I was gonna see the muscles popping out. I thought I was gonna be very lean and look in shape. And the thing is that I didn't look the way I wanted. I looked a little deflated. And so the thing is I was like, what could it be? And so at this time I'm already certified as a trainer. I've already coached and helped people. And I still, for some reason, was holding back on this protein thing. And it was a limiting belief I kept telling myself, what if I stick with this protein goal, right? And I, do it the right way. And I hit my deficit. I get back down to my goal weight. And I still don't look the way that I wanted. That was like my fear. That was my limiting belief, where I was like genuinely just thinking like, what if I go all in and I still don't like the way I look? And it won't even be worth it. And so I finally just got rid of that belief. I threw it away and I said, you know what? Hitting my protein goal is effortless for me. This is something that I told myself in my head, or I would write down, journaling. And at the time, it was so far out of my reach. Like I would hit 20 grams or 30, maybe 40, and I wouldn't be consistent. And so, I told myself, you know what? I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. And I'm going to just keep telling myself it's going to work. It's going to work. It's going to work. And so I finally started to hit this protein goal. And, this thing that I was not only not enjoying, but I eventually started to love it. Like the thing that I was saying out loud in my head ended up becoming true. And to this very day, I find it very hard to not hit my protein goal. So I was hitting that protein goal, and for about 2-3 weeks, maybe a month, is when I finally started to see results. And my scale hadn't gone down too much, but the composition, my face, my physique, everything started to tighten up. And I was like, wait a second, is this actually the protein goal that's working? And so I went all in even more, and I upped the protein, and I'm hitting like 200 grams, some days 230, which is like, if you don't hit that much protein goal before, you're like, what are you saying? It kind of reminds me of Alex Hormozi, where he brings up volume a lot, and there's certain things where you just need to do more. And so protein is one of those things. You just have to do more. And I realized, oh, I was under eating protein like crazy. And so what happened was, I forgot to mention, that time that I didn't hit the protein and got to my goal weight, I shot back up because I couldn't sustain it, because I was eating at a deficit, but I was hungry because I wasn't full from the protein. And on top of that, I didn't even like the way that I looked. And so when I finally locked in with this protein and I started to stack it, I started to see a bit of results from the progress pictures. I wasn't sharing them with everyone, but I was taking pictures, and I noticed, and I'm like, oh. So finally, I go all in with this protein goal, and I get back to my goal weight. And so there's a picture I can show up a side by side where I'm 175 pounds without the protein, 175 pounds with the protein goal, and it's day and night. Like my face looked much leaner. My physique looked a lot more tight. It was a nice toned looking shape, which a lot of people think that protein makes you bulky, right? That's like a common myth. The thing is that it makes you more toned. Whether you're a woman or you're a man, it makes you more toned. And so that was one of the biggest moments and shifts that I had in my fitness journey, is that I'd always lifted, always looked relatively in shape, but I wanted to get to that next level. And the only way that I could get there myself was through hitting that protein goal consistently. And so if you haven't been told this before, or maybe you didn't believe in it, you really need to go all in with your protein goal. It's not only gonna make it way easier because you're gonna be full from the protein, right? But you're also gonna be having that toned look. So you're gonna not only look better, but but it's going to be so much easier to stick to your calories when you're hitting a high amount of protein.